Hello, so in today's YouTube video I'm going to be talking about the different ways coaching can be applied in schools. So I was fortunate enough to do a master's degree in coaching psychology and positive psychology, and I did a module in coaching and education which does not exist anymore. So there was a very small window of opportunity in my academic career to do this module, master's level. And one of my friends, Margaret, and Christian, who was my supervisor and one of the leading experts and the lecturer at the time, and one of the leading experts in coaching and educational settings, have written a really helpful paper. And they have this framework with the 4 ways that coaching can be applied in educational settings. So I want to put that in my YouTube video today. So coaching can be applied in 4 ways in an educational context. That is coaching for educational leadership, coaching for professional practice, coaching with parents in the wider school community, and coaching for wellbeing, student wellbeing and success. So what Worth It and my work specialises in is coaching for student wellbeing and success. And I'll go into that in a lot more depth in a minute. And that's one of the least developed areas of coaching in schools. Coaching is getting really popular for academic and professional development, leadership, headship, middle leadership, and teaching practice. So a lot of schools are now using coaching or having coaches because it is one of the best ways to develop professionally, and also improve mental health and wellbeing of teachers and staff. But still, staff wellbeing coaching is still not a big thing. That is also something that we do champion and advocate, but Worth It really specialises in student coaching for wellbeing and success and resilience. Anyway, I'll come to that in a moment. So coaching it for educational leadership. The different ways that coaching is applied for this is that leaders are being coached. So you're a head teacher or a deputy or an assistant head, and you have a coach. Most people in leadership roles need a coach. I am in a leadership role. I need a coach because I lead an organisation. And most people who become heads or any kind of manager really might be really great teachers that have progressed up the ladder, but they might not have the leadership skills or capabilities, or there's just so many things that they need to plan and organise and prioritise, that a coach and a person that's going to give them that attention and that space to problem solve and think things through with clarity in a neutral way is so important for their ability to lead that organisation and manage their stress and improve their resilience. Basically, every head teacher needs a coach. If you haven't got one, get one. Of organisations like Women Ed and people like that that do champion coaching for leaders in schools, especially if you're a female head teacher. So most people in a leadership role need a coach, basically. But the more you are able to manage your stress and develop your leadership skills, the more it ripples down and benefits the entire organisation. So it is a good investment for the whole organisation, even though it's directed at the individuals at the top. It's called the coaching ripple effect. So there's research on how if you coach leaders, the ripple effect of the network and all the people that are connected to that network and how they benefit. It's by my friend Sean O'Connor. So if you're interested in that research, coaching ripple effect. So then leaders learn to coach themselves. So the leader can coach subordinates. Again, manager as coach is often like a thing done in lots of different organisational settings for professional development and organisational success. So education leaders learn how to coach, and then they're using their coaching leadership repertoire. So again, that's really important for wellbeing and resilience, because when we're coaching, we're building positive relationships, and then that helps improve people's wellbeing and resilience. So then we have coaching for professional practice, and different approaches to that are instructional coaching, which is much more about teaching practice and effective teaching. So teachers are coached by peers or dedicated instructional coaches to focus on improving instructional practice and learning outcomes. And this is where I think really the issues with behaviour in schools that's going on at the moment could really benefit from helping teachers through coaching manage classroom behaviour more effectively, but also have that person that's there to support them and champion them and help them to feel more confident and in control, which again then has a positive effect on classroom behaviour and competence and autonomy and things like that for the teacher. Then we have peer coaching, where teachers learn to co-coach and peer coach each other. So or it can be TAs. can be other members of staff, non-teaching staff. So they have to do a course, and I've also done courses like this in the past where we've trained up teachers to co-coach each other and then have coaching conversations. Now they can either be sit down, have a proper coaching session, like for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, or 2 hours. Like leader coaching tends to be at a minimum 2 hours, as it's really intensive and you need to get a lot out of it. Practically coaching teachers, just because the logistics of it all tends to be around an hour, just to fit it in, really. So teachers can learn to coach each other, but by learning to be a coach, you learn so much, and you have to practice, which helps you learn so much, and then you coach a peer, and then you both learn through that process of coaching. So that's a really powerful way of developing a coaching approach in your school. Then we have another area that you might not have thought of before, which is coaching parents and the wider community. Obviously, schools have a lot of issues with parents' engagement, and when you look at our whole school model of a whole school approach to mental wellbeing, parents and stakeholders are key. Parents and stakeholders are key to the success of a whole school approach to mental health and wellbeing. So parent coaching by teachers or others. So it could be TAs, could be a family support worker, could be a welfare person in your school, behavioural manager, pastoral people. So teachers use coaching skills and approaches when they're meeting parents. So this helps the dynamic of the parent-teacher relationship, but it also helps through osmosis the parents learn some coaching skills to use with their own kids. It's really effective. Again, it's kind of like phase 2 of your approach to coaching in a school, I'd say, after you've either got student coaching sorted or teacher and staff leadership coaching sorted. It's very innovative work, actually, working with parents. Again, we've done that in the past. It's just logistically challenging to sort out. Or other educational professionals coach parents to help improve their parenting skills. So you might be working with outside agencies, especially in primary, who are coming into your school and working with the families using a coaching approach to work with the parents around stuff like behaviour and attendance and emotionally based school avoidance, because the parent needs fortification to then and a coaching support to then enable them to and then help their child access school or improve behaviour or attend or reduce anxiety or all those challenging issues that are having a detrimental effect to school performance. And then parents, this is really innovative and I love it. Parents can be trained as coaches. So peer-to-peer parent coaching, amazing, especially for like SEN parents, as I'm a SEN parent. So just having that peer-to-peer support from a trained parent is like amazing. Again, logistically something sophisticated to think about for maybe an advanced approach to using coaching in your school. Coaching from the community. So I've also trained organisations where they've had volunteers. So I did a project with a social enterprise called Form the Future. So they were actually trained as mentors, but I trained them in a coaching. They officially were career mentors, but I trained them to be coaches. So they were using coaching skills, these volunteers from the community who were then working with students to improve their career aspirations and their outcomes and their positive attitudes and things like that. So as a local organisation, it could be a local business. It could be like, if I know of one of my students when I was teaching at the university, she worked for a building society and they were using role models from their organisation to volunteer in schools to improve like access to IT for women and girls. So access to IT roles in the banking industry. So there's all these kind of niche little projects that are really kind of using a coaching approach that are working with schools in partnership with the community to increase aspirations for young people. Another one is Dame Kelly Holmes's trust. They're using a coaching approach, but it's more of a sport angle to help improve student outcomes. So is there any ways that, or any outside agencies that are using coaching that are more community based, local to your school community? Again, we work with like the fire service and big charities like Bernardo's, things like that, who are using coaching. specifically for cohorts of vulnerable young people like young carers or care leavers. So specifically at-risk cohorts of children or young people might need coaching. So then we have the other fourth area, which is coaching for student success and well-being. So we have external coaches like me and my team that will work with your school. So you would commission us using something like Pupil Premium or catch-up funding, or if you're independent school, and we would offer coaching to your students. They would have to come out of the classroom and have coaching. So usually it's a set program, 6 sessions around that. And we coach them on whatever the young person needs to be coached on. So they might be referred in because they may be struggling academically, or they need some help and motivation and confidence, or they might have some well-being issues or lack of resilience, and then we would work with them on a set period of time to help them identify what the things that they want to work on are, and then we would coach them through that process and help them develop well-being and resilience. So that's when we do it. Again, that's quite costly. So the other way of doing it, and the more sustainable way, and the way I would always encourage, is to train your own internal coaches to coach with students to improve well-being and success. And that's what we do at Worth It. So I've developed an accredited coach training course. If you're interested, check the box below. There's a link to the page. There's also a link to my free course, which is an introduction to coaching young people for resilience and well-being using applied positive psychology. So click on the link and access that free course. It's about 2 hours worth of CPD. I don't do anything by halves. So you could train a member of staff to be your school coach instead of a counsellor, or as well as a counsellor, because there is a growing need of students with mental health issues that you're probably aware of. It's becoming an acute need, and it's affecting behaviour, it's affecting attendance, it's affecting classroom relationships, it's affecting school outcomes, and offering more of a range of targeted interventions is something the D4E are wanting to do around the mental health agenda. But also you have to do something, and I know it's really hard, but staff are struggling because of the amount of issues that students have got, and there's just no wiggle room for anything else anymore. So something's got to give. So one suggestion to add to your range of support in school is to train a member of staff to do coaching sessions as part of their job, or as their full-time job or part-time job. Depends on, obviously there's a lot of factors involved, like funding and capacity, and where they're even, what room they're even going to be in, and logistics. But start small and take it from there. If you want to pilot it, work externally with an agency like us, and we can deliver coaching. You can prove that it works, and then you can think about training a member of staff to be a school coach. But it's much more cost effective to have your own internal trained member of staff trained to coach students to improve their well-being and their resilience. Or the other one, my other favourite, is training students to coach each other. So this is what we also specialise in here at Worth It, is peer-to-peer coaching interventions. So we have a programme called Wellbeing Ambassadors, which takes a coaching methodology and coaching approach and trains young people to really lead their own peer-led wellbeing interventions. It's kind of coaching light. It takes a few of the key approaches from positive psychology and coaching skills and trains students to learn how to use them, so that then they can improve positive peer relationships in the school setting and reduce a lot of those low level issues that are very time consuming, that young people really struggle with, that are causing them low levels of anxiety and stress, such as friendship falling out, not feeling settled in, lack of confidence, lack of ability to know what to do next with their schoolwork or their homework or revising or whatever. So again, one of the best, most exciting, in my opinion, ways to help young people is to help them learn to coach each other. But coaching can be applied at all 4 of these levels. So again, coaching for educational leadership, coaching for teaching and professional practice, coaching with parents and engaging with the wider community to offer coaching interventions, and then coaching for student success and wellbeing. So if you're interested in either looking at training teachers to become coaches to coach your students, or peer-to-peer coaching through our Wellbeing Ambassadors programme, please click on the links below or get in touch with me to find out more. I'll see you again soon.